Well, I want to thank you. It's an honor to be here, and I appreciate the invitation. It's good to come back to Martin Hall and see it's still there. And this law school is fabulous. And I know the Waco Bar is proud of it, and I know Baylor Law students are proud of it. I selected a topic today that, frankly, is the most difficult topic that I wrestle with on a day-to-day basis as a lawyer and even as a judge. It was a hard subject to get your arms around, and that's collegiality, especially amongst us trial lawyers. So I titled the subject, We Are All Priests in the Temple of Justice. A judge told me that one time when I was standing before him. I was a fresh lawyer, and I'd file suit. The other side called me and said, Jim, I know that the statute of limitations is about to run, but we need a little additional time to file answers to the interrogatories and discovery. And I said, well, you know, my major concern is that I don't have the correct parties before me. The attorney said, no, I assure you that you got all the correct parties before you, just give me another 60 days. I gave him the 60 days. Limitations expires. He files his answer. He alleges that somebody else did it. I filed a motion before the judge, a great district judge. The lawyer wouldn't send his own, wouldn't come down there himself. He sent a young associate to take the beating. I presented my case, told him exactly what happened. I knew I didn't have any issue of law. It was really one of morality and ethics and lawyer to lawyer. The judge looked down over his glasses after that young lawyer got through and said, you go back and you tell your boss that we're all priests in the temple of justice. And if one lawyer can't rely upon another priest's word, then the temple will fail. I've never forgotten that. All right. Let's all of us have been in depositions. Here's a wonderful deposition for law students. This is the way you should do it.
Go off the record.
Did you talk to this man sitting next to you before this deposition started?
Yesterday, but he had nothing to do.
I didn't ask you that.
Did you I said it, though, didn't I?
Did you talk to him, sir? What did you say?
I said nothing. I said, you have a case of incipient verbal diarrhea.
Oh, sir, we're going to see about that.
Well, good.
Did you talk to him yesterday?
Yes.
How long?
About 3 hours.
Talk about this case?
Yes.
Did you tell him the other companies you consulted for?
No.
You're under oath here.
I did not.
We'll see about it. When you were at Monsanto, what was your title?
At Monsanto, what do you mean?
In Texas City.
Research chemist.
And was that your title during your entire stay at Texas City?
Texas City, yes.
Don't talk over each other.
After you left Texas City...
Wait a minute, let me ask a question here.
Yeah.
You represent this guy or not?
Who are you?
My name's Tucker, and I represent Ayrshire, and I just want to know, do you represent the guy or not? I'm getting, you know, if you don't represent him, you don't have any right to be making any objection. If you do represent him, tell us so.
Why don't you keep your mouth shut? I'll do what I want.
No, you're not
Hold
going to do
it.
what you want.
No way.
I'll do what I want.
No, you're
No,
not.
you're not.
Yeah, I am.
That's
I'll make
bullshit.
whatever objections I want to make, and I'll make them as loud as I want to make them. Or you just shut your mouth and we'll keep the record straight.
Don't tell me to shut my mouth, boy. You may be big, but you won't see how bad you are. Come on.
And I wouldn't try that, Ed.
Are you threatening to fight?
Hold on just a second.
Oh, I want to know whose side we're on. We're going to be outnumbered, Ed.
Hold on just a second.
No, you got a big mouth. Now, you do. Now, you need to either represent the man or not.
I'm
Not tolerate it.
representing Monsanto, and I'm
But
making
you're
an
not-
objection on the record.
Then you're not entitled to be his lawyer then, okay?
I'm not representing the man.
Well, you're
I'm making
trying
an
to be.
objection on the
And
record.
another thing,
Don't tell
you
me what
don't.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something else. You don't run this deposition. You understand?
Neither do you, Joe.
You watch and see. You watch and see who does, big boy.
I'm telling you, Joe.
Oh, you ain't telling me a goddamn
I'm gonna make
thing.
whatever objections I want.
You can make your objections and
You can
keep
talk as
keep
loud
quiet.
as you
See,
want. No,
but
I'm
don't be
not-
telling another lawyer to shut up.
Don't be
That
telling
ain't
me
your
to shut
goddamn
up.
job,
No, that's
fat
not your
boy.
job.
Now get back.
Peace.
Now you got
As I said before, you have an incipient bad
What do you want to do about it, asshole?
Oh, I'd like to knock you on your
Wait a
ass.
minute.
Come try it.
I'm not going to do that.
Come over here and try it, you
Wait a minute.
dumb son of a bitch.
Wait just a second.
Come over here. Hold it. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. No way.
Get close.
What is associate of taking Mr. Garrett out in the hall to lecture him, I suppose. They're doing this over our objection. We started this deposition, unable to get an answer from this man.
That's Joe Jamalian. And my first recommendation is don't do that unless you're Joe Jamalian. He was castigated by the Delaware Supreme Court. You or I would be suspended by our local bar. But it brings to the issue in the forefront. I saw Noli Bice out here. All of us old trial lawyers have run into Tom Ragland. We've all been in situations like this where you realize that the hardest thing you can do is to maintain your temper and your cool when you're put into a situation like you were at this deposition. Perhaps one of the issues that we ought to discuss this afternoon, Susan, is what would you do if you found yourself in a situation like that? What type of action you should take? Susan mentioned a moment ago that I'm the only lawyer in Texas that filed a grievance against himself, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I stand before you as a person that's been convicted by the lack of my own collegiality. Collegiality amongst lawyers is probably the most difficult issue that we face on a day-to-day basis. In today's climate of red states and blue states and people that won't talk to you about politics, friends of 20 or 30 or 40 years that I have, who we used to be able to talk politics and now we can't, some of that is overlapped, if not all of it is overlapped into our own professional lives. We have a divided state. We have, frankly, courts that are antagonistic one to the other, if not to the people of Texas. And it's divided all of us as lawyers. So if you're Joe Jamalian, try that. If you're not Joe Jamalian, don't do it.